Good morning, friends. How's everyone doing today? Well, we are in the midst of a crazy long heat wave here in Pennsylvania without any rain. So I haven't been setting up the flower stand for the last week and a half. Now today's going to be 95 degrees, but what I want to do is cut as many flowers as I can this morning because tonight we're having a big thunderstorm, and then hopefully we'll be able to set up the flower stand the following day. It looks like the heat is going to break tonight. I'm also working on a custom arrangement tonight, and since we're going to be getting a big storm, I'll probably be picking some flowers for our house also. So without further ado, let's get to work and try to beat the heat. So this is the bed where we interplanted straw flowers and gladiolas, which was okay, but in retrospect, now that I see how they grow together, next year what I'll do is probably cool season, cool flower transplants and gladiolas, and I'll pick a cool flower that has more of a lacy basal foliage, something like maybe Dara, Nigella, Ami. I just think that it's getting a little bit crowded, and I'm afraid that not enough light is getting to the gladiolas, but we'll see. So it's hard to tell for sure how this is going to work out because now that we're cutting them, the gladiolas will have more sun. But in retrospect, seeing how they're growing together, I think that the straw flower might be shading them too much. But I'll keep updating you on that. And once these gladiolas start to bloom, we'll definitely take another look at this bed, and then we'll be able to make a proper assessment. This is our interplanting of saponaria and lilies, and this worked so well last year that I repeated it again this season. I planted these on the same exact day, so the bulbs and the seeds went in direct into the ground on the same exact day. They bloom at the same time, and so you can basically harvest this entire area within a matter of 2 weeks and then have it cleared for something else. So it's something I feel like I'll always repeat in the future. I also went ahead and seeded saponaria around my dahlias that are in the raised bed, just to once again try to get another cut around these flowers that take a little bit longer. And now we can cut them, sell them, and our dahlias will have more room to grow. All right, so let's start out this arrangement with a nice, strong focal flower. Following that, I want to add a beautiful stem of foliage. And the other great thing about using lemon balm is that it smells amazing. I've even had lemon balm root in the vase. And I do prefer this over basil. It doesn't melt down at the flower stand like basil can, but you still get that great fragrance. Next, let's add in a little bit of Dara this time, which is over there in the driveway garden. Then we'll come in with a seashell mix straw flower. Add in a little bit of saponaria. And then let's go ahead and put in some Orlea grandiflora. And then we need a nice big disc flower that could almost double as a focal flower. So I'm going to be using this Neo Rose dianthus that we grew together from seed. Add that in. Isn't that beautiful? That adds so much to the bouquet. And now I'm just gonna repeat all these ingredients until I am happy with how the design looks. So here's what the bouquet is looking like without a central focal flower. And since I do sell at a roadside stand, I always like to put one really big, valuable open flower right in front. We'll go ahead, stick this into a sauce jar, just like I always do, and then we'll also wrap them, because I have found that wrapping makes a big difference in terms of how well these bouquets sell. We got the stand all set up and I think it looks so beautiful and eye-catching with those royal sunset lilies. Now I need to head out again and do a couple custom order deliveries. I think I'll bring Grace with me. We'll grab a treat on the way home. This is the first bouquet that we'll be delivering. You can see I'm using those royal sunset lilies again, but since this is a more expensive design and it never has to be outside, I was able to use the Baptisia foliage. Also, I put in some calla lilies, a little bit of Dara and strawflower, but I like to keep these custom arrangements that are more expensive a little more simple, a little more elegant, and I don't use anything like the feverfew or the saponaria in them. I just feel like this looks a little bit cleaner and a little bit more expensive. And I thought, I think we might be able to stop over at my old neighbor's garden while we're out. So let's head out and I'll ring her doorbell and see if she'll give us a really quick tour of her rose garden. So we used to live in an old hardware store that had been divided into 4 different apartments, and we lived there for about 9 years before moving to our current home. So it was a very humble apartment, but across the road from us was this huge historic mansion with beautiful gardens. They had this amazing rose garden in the front, and then they have this secret rose garden in the back. This garden is also on a main road, so you can see she has that wonderful, really tall evergreen hedge. And this is a quadrant garden. You can see a car there behind the hedge. And so she mainly just grows Annabelle hydrangeas, begonias, roses, boxwoods, and then she had some euonymus that I saw also. But it's such a beautiful garden. It has really nice, clean lines. Kind of gives me a 1950s feel, like we're back in an old Doris Day movie, which I always love. And it's just such a beautiful and peaceful space. And I'm really glad she gave us a quick look around while I dropped off another pair of flowers. Well, friends, we're back home now and the heat is coming on strong. One of you recommended that I put some ice packs right next to the flowers once it gets really hot, and I really appreciate that comment. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do that right now. But for now, I want to wish you all a wonderful day out there in your gardens. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and Grace today, and we'll see you sometime soon. Bye.